All right, gents, 7 weak behaviors that are ruining your chances with women. First of all, I want to start off by saying that most men don't lose women because they're unattractive, broke, or boring. They lose them because they act weak, not in a physical sense, but emotionally. And there's some subtle behaviors that signal insecurity, lack of self-respect, or desperation, which I want to touch on today. And once you fix these things, your confidence and attraction naturally rise. So the first point is needing her validation. You constantly want to know that she likes you. Checking if she's texting back. Okay? Reading into her tone. Trying to say what you think she wants to hear. This shows that you're not centered, gentlemen. You're giving her the power to decide how you feel about yourself. Women can sense when a man's confidence depends on her reactions, and it instantly kills attraction. She's like, this guy is not confident in who he is. He's constantly texting me, calling me to check up if I still like him. What a weak man. It's pathetic. And it's creepy. There are guys out there, if they call a girl and she doesn't reply, they start texting her endlessly, calling her back again endlessly. It's weird. That does not signal that the man is confident in who he is. It does not signal that this man is capable of meeting other women. You know, women want to know that you can get other women, not just her. Okay? I know there's some girls out there online these days that will say things like, I want a man that gets no bitches, or something like that, right? Because what they're saying is, I don't want a man to cheat on me. But in reality, they want to know that their man can, in fact, get somebody else, perhaps even more attractive than she is, because it signals that he's pre-selected. It signals that he's capable of attracting other women, not just her. She doesn't want to feel like she's the only woman that had to settle for your sorry ass because no other woman would look at you. Okay? You know, if she does take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to respond to you, don't lose your shit. You should have your own busy life with lots of exciting things to do. You should even forget that you texted her. You know, once she texts you back, like, oh, right? You're not checking your phone constantly like, oh God, what has she said? Oh, okay. Operate from internal validation, gentlemen. Assume she already likes you and focus on expressing yourself honestly, not performing for approval. Okay? Be exactly who you are, authentically yourself. And have the confidence that, yeah, of course she likes me. Of course she'll text me back, you know? And if she doesn't, by the way, not the end of the world. There's going to be another girl that will. Okay? A grounded man, gentlemen, doesn't need to chase reassurance. He creates certainty through his presence. Okay? The second point, the second mistake men make when dating women is over-explaining themselves. You feel like you have to justify everything. Why you're busy, why you didn't text, why you believe what you believe. And I'm like, man, you're putting in too much effort. You really are to over-explain yourself. You know, I said this the other day in a video that I made, right? Have a fucking backbone. If you believe in something, stand true to that belief. Don't change it because of an attractive woman, because you're afraid of creating controversy. Yeah, but if I tell her how I really feel, she might not like me and then she might leave me. Let her leave. Not every person that you lose is a loss, gentlemen. People are different. You're not everyone's cup of tea. If a woman doesn't like the way you view life, she can keep it moving. Respectfully, of course. And you can't be upset about that. You can't be like, well, why does she? People are entitled to have whatever beliefs they want to have. The moment you start to really over-explain, there's probably not quite the right fit in that dynamic between you and her. Okay? And it shows that you're nervous. You're over-explaining. You're trying to find a different way of telling her how you really feel that won't offend her, perhaps. You know, for example, a guy might say, I'm not really into clubbing, and then quickly add, I mean, unless you like it, I don't mind going sometimes. That's weak. Weak. Just say, no, I don't go clubbing. It's not for me. Even if she loves it. It is what it is. That's who you are. She's meeting the real you in that moment. Authentically, the truest version of yourself. Not some fucking actor that's putting on a performance because he's afraid that if he doesn't buy into her things and say exactly what she wants to hear, that she'll leave him. Pathetic. Okay? If you need to explain something, do it once with calm conviction and let silence do the rest. Gents, if she truly desires you, she will even change the way she sees certain things to buy into your way of looking at it. It's not manipulation. Some women are just open-minded enough to be like, you know what, actually, I do like the way you see things. She's potentially going to change her mind to buy into your viewpoints because you say it in such a calm way with conviction. Not with that nervous energy of, no, so sometimes I do, yeah. Sometimes I listen to Harry Styles, yeah. If you don't listen to Harry Styles, just say, I don't listen to Harry Styles. That's not my genre of music. I instead listen to, have your own damn fucking interests and your own, you know what I mean? Like, come on, have a backbone, man. The third mistake, weak behavior, is over pursuing. Terrible. This is when you're doing too much too soon. You initiate every damn conversation. You plan every meetup. And you can't let her take the lead even once. Look, I believe in the early stages of dating, a man should be the one that pursues the women. Now, pursuing is not a weak behavior. I'm old school. I believe the man should take the woman out. The man should pay the bill entirely. Okay? You take the lead. But if you start noticing the interactions are one-sided, you're doing everything. She never reaches out first. She never, you know, it's always a response to you. You know? That's not a good sign. In that case, start backing off. Let her buy into you a little bit more. Let her do some of the work. If it feels like persistence to you, it reads as desperation to her. Women want to feel drawn to you, not chased down by you. Okay? They want to actually work for you, in a sense. And what I mean by that, before I get attacked for being a misogynist, is they also want to express their interest and do nice gestures for you as well. That's how they start to love you, because they start noticing, you know what, I'm doing things I wouldn't normally do for any other guy. I'm baking this guy a cake, you know, making him a little, you know, like some pottery, like a little mug or something, or a bowl. You know, she's knitting you a little hat or something. You know, she'll notice that she's doing stuff for you that she doesn't normally do for other guys. So she starts to like you more. Okay? Listen, gentlemen, match her energy. If she's showing interest, reciprocate, of course. If she's pulling away, slow down. Your attention should be earned, not thrown around. I'm going to say that again. Your attention should be earned, not thrown around. Remember, attraction grows in space, not suffocation. It's not attractive when you're right in somebody's face constantly. Allow space to create that tension, that sexual tension. You know, who was it? Was it Chris Camwell? He's got a great channel on YouTube. Don't know what the channel's called. I think it might be Mindful Attraction. He says that consider a string sexual tension, right? If you hold the two pieces of the string together, there's no tension in the string, right? But when you pull away, what happens to the string? There's tension right there, meaning that tension grows in space. Sexual tension, I'm talking about, right? So when you're away from each other, it's not a bad thing, okay? It allows that sexual tension to build up. If you're always in her face, it's not attractive. It shows you have no life. You've got nothing going on for you. You're always right in her damn face. Then she'll hit you with the, I think we need a break. I think we need some space. She will tell it to you. You shouldn't wait until she tells this to you, gentlemen. You should be living your own exciting life. I'm not talking about using strategies and games to manipulate this woman. No, I'm talking about being genuinely busy with your own life, with your work, with your side hustles, with gym, with boxing, with meeting your friends. You shouldn't have to wait until she hits you with the we need space talk. That's how you know you've been doing too much. Okay? Number 4, avoiding tension. You avoid disagreements, hard conversations, or teasing moments because you don't want to upset her. You're treading on eggshells. You think that being easygoing makes you likable, but it actually makes you forgettable. Tension, gentlemen, is not a threat. It's where polarity happens, as I've just spoken, right? When you're relaxed in moments of tension, she feels your groundedness, that masculine calm that she can trust. Look, once again, it's refreshing for a woman when a guy can say what he thinks without fear. Even if what he says upsets her, even if she finds herself angry at you for a brief moment, she finds it refreshing because most guys nowadays are fucking fake. Nice guys who put on a mask, pretend to be a guy that they're not, a yes man to her, somebody who agrees with everything she says. Yeah, no, I agree. I also love Harry Styles. Yeah, you know what? I also drink pumpkin spice lattes. Yeah. She doesn't want a guy like that. She doesn't want a guy that agrees to everything she says. Women are not stupid, guys. They're not stupid. They know when you're putting on an act, they know. And it actually will start to bother her that you don't have your own opinions. It will start to bother her that there's nothing to argue about. Isn't that interesting? You know, people think that tension is a bad thing in a relationship, or disagreements are bad. No, it keeps the relationship exciting. It keeps it spicy. I'm not talking about being, emotionally abusive and things like that. No, I'm just talking about having disagreements and different viewpoints and, being a little bit cheeky. That's important in a relationship. Without that, you just become robotic. The relationship becomes stale. There's no real substance. And there's a saying, you can do anything to a woman but bore her. If you're Mr. I'm avoiding conflicts all the time, Mr. playing it safe, Mr. Treading on eggshells, you're going to be Mr. broken up with very soon. You are. Okay? This nice guy energy that you're portraying is not attractive. Is not attractive. Okay? Get comfortable, gentlemen, with small doses of tension from time to time. Okay? It's all right. Point number 5, being too nice. The nice guy syndrome, which is absolutely pathetic and will destroy every relationship that you get into. You go out of your way to please. Always available, always agreeable, never assertive. Okay, that's not kindness, gentlemen. That's covert manipulation. You're being nice because you want something. Approval, affection, or attention. And women sense that. They might appreciate your politeness, but they won't desire it. Desire is triggered by respect, not compliance. I'm going to say that again. Desire is triggered by respect, not compliance. The nice guy is not somebody you respect. The guy that's always available, always agreeing, that is not a man that you respect. That is a man that is a weak, spineless, fake piece of shit. The guy that never calls her out for her BS. Women want you to call them out when they do something disrespectful. If you don't, you actually damage the relationship because she will not respect you. I can get away with everything. What? She will walk all over you, then break up with your ass. You know, she cancels on you twice, for example, without any good reason. You booked a nice date for her or whatever. She cancels on you, doesn't really tell you. And then she texts you hours later or the next day, hey, sorry, I just, had some friends. And you're like, no worries, it's okay. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Stop trying to be liked. Be honest instead. If something bothers you, express it calmly. That doesn't make you weak. You can call a woman out in a respectful way. You don't have to be rude about it. Doing that raises your level in her eyes. She's like, wow. Because a lot of guys these days, they don't call women out. They don't. They're agreeable yes men who try and avoid conflict as much as possible. They don't believe in who they are. They're afraid of not finding another woman. So they allow the woman that they're with to treat them like shit. And they take it because they don't have high self-esteem. They don't have high self-confidence. The next weak behavior that ruin men's chances with women is oversharing feelings too early. Look, vulnerability, gentlemen, is powerful when it's earned, but weakness when it's dumped too soon. That is absolutely the truth. Now, women might say things like, oh no, I love it when a guy expresses himself and opens up and is vulnerable and cries, and they don't. They absolutely do not, especially when you've only been speaking to this girl for 4 days. You start telling her about your childhood trauma, the fact that your parents used to beat you up and whatever happened to you, right? Look, people go through really difficult experiences in their childhood. But you don't need to dump this on a woman that you're romantically interested in. It's just going to kill attraction. Don't say things that are going to make you look pathetic and weak. Look, I wish we lived in a world where you can say exactly how you feel and that won't be used against you. But the reality is, you start telling a woman about all your weaknesses and all your fears and traumas, whatever, she's going to feel overwhelmed by that. And it will actually change the way she sees you. Plain and simple. You start saying that you're scared of not being able to ever find a good job, this and this. Early on in the relationship, she's going to think, well, why the hell would I decide to want to be with you long term if you're just a fearful guy who is afraid about not making enough money? Then she'll start thinking about, like, is this even going to work? Like, how are you going to start dating? This guy's worried about money. It's just not good. Okay? Look, I'm not saying that you can never speak to your woman about some things that may be bothering you. No, of course you can, right? If she's a good woman, she won't use that against you. But there are certain things that I believe a man should never speak about to his woman because it's not necessary. Confide in your brothers and your dad, strong masculine role models in your life. Don't dump your emotional trauma onto her. And then the final point is putting her on a pedestal. You treat her like she's the one. And the issue with that is that it reverses the polarity. She becomes the chooser and you are the applicant. Right? Please choose me. puts you in a pathetic position where you will, in most cases, tolerate things you don't normally tolerate because you feel like she's some sort of mythical creature that, you know, doesn't exist anywhere else. It's just, when you pedestalize a woman, gentlemen, you strip yourself of this equality. Right? She senses that your attraction is based on fantasy, not reality. And that's not love. That's worship. And that's pathetic. You know, guys will say things like, I don't deserve someone like you, or you're out of my league, or you're my better half. You know, they'll degrade themselves to make her look good. And that's not romantic. That's self-degrading. You got to see yourself as the price, gentlemen. You bring energy, ambition, depth. She brings femininity and beauty. No one is better than the other. You bring different qualities to the relationship. Okay? So look, gentlemen, to wrap up, weak behaviors are not about being emotional. They're about being unanchored. The more grounded you are in your own value, the less you need to prove, the less you need to explain, the less you need to chase. And that's exactly what makes you magnetic. Hopefully these tips have helped you, gentlemen. If they have, make sure you give this video a like, comment, let me know your thoughts. Then I'll catch you guys in the next video.